Dermot Kennedy live on Austin City Limits Radio. That song has a lot of words, and I saw some people mouthing every one of those words a moment ago. I also watched a bunch of video from this current tour where every date is sold out. And there's more than a few moments where you just turn it over to the crowd and they know every word. What's that like to have them singing that back to you?
Crazy, yeah. It's funny because we have in-ear monitors, so it's like I'm aware of most of it, but then I kind of even see videos from the concert myself and I realize how loud the crowd is. And that's kind of the most exciting thing, is that it's like every song as opposed to kind of just one that everyone latches onto and then isn't necessarily interested in the rest. For them to all kind of be ones that people are getting involved with is crazy, yeah.
Do you think they're connecting to the idea that you're not just a singer-songwriter, you're not a hip-hop guy, although there's elements of that you are the way we listen to music right now?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like, it feels kind of, that's what I'm doing the whole time, is kind of never forgetting the fact that I kind of started music because of like Damien Rice and Ray LaMontagne and stuff like that. That's kind of where it exists, and that's where it all came from. And now when we play live, there's me and Johnny and two other guys as well, and it's like it's kind of this bigger production, and there's all that. There are hip hop elements in the production, and it's something that just kind of happened naturally, and so I'm kind of constantly trying to balance the two worlds. But it's always fun to do stuff like this too, to kind of come back to what it was at the beginning, yeah.
And to know that those songs that have a lot of production can be stripped back down to this and stand on their own.
I think it's often the kind of marker as to whether you're kind of starting off in the right place. I've rarely started with something big and kind of figured it out from there. It generally starts from like an acoustic song, and then we build it from there.
Mike Dean, who you worked with, has worked with everyone from the Ghetto Boys to Selena, and is a Texas guy. So you're the only Irish singer-songwriter with legit Texas hip-hop bona fides.
Yeah.
What was that whole thing like? Did you start to hear yourself differently once you worked with him? Sort of the possibilities?
Kind of. It was huge for me in terms of confidence in a strange way, because there was certain songs that I was struggling with that I wasn't necessarily attached to and that I wasn't super proud of, and I think it was completely irrational, because it was basically at a time when people first started kind of like, I kind of was only starting to grow a fan base, and it was only starting to become a thing. So before, I had kind of made music for myself. So at this stage now, when people were kind of connecting to it, I put a lot of pressure on myself to kind of deliver that again, and like, especially lyrically, I think people kind of get involved lyrically quite a bit with my stuff, and so I put a lot of pressure on myself to kind of do that again. And also, like, it's funny because when you start, like, I 3 years ago I was writing like a couple of songs a year even, and just taking my time, and it was all for myself, and nothing else really mattered. And then when you get busy, you're kind of like in a position where you gotta create all the time, and however loose they might be, and I'm sure it's not even that intense relative to some artists, but like to even have any kind of time constraint on your thoughts and your lyrics and stuff like that, kind of just, it took me a little while to figure it out. So to be with him, to be with Mike Dean, and to be in the studio with, he was working on a song called Young and Free, which is like, has like a banjo line in the chorus, and it's like, it was just bizarre to kind of see how into it he was, and the other guys in the studio, like his engineers and stuff. It was just, so it was really reassuring for me in that way to see that they kind of were into it, yeah.
That last song was about your childhood. Is it Rathcool?
Rathcool, yeah.
What we know, I mean, we know Dublin, we know some Irish places, but I've never heard of Rathcool. What happens there?
Not much, yeah. It's like, it's like an hour outside of Dublin City, and it's almost in the next county, and it's just, it's further than Rathcool. Like, it's the thing of, if you were like getting a taxi, you'd say Rathcool, and then it's like an extra 20 minutes, and so, yeah, I mean, I grew up way out in the countryside, and it's like right beside the forest and stuff. So that was like the nearest town. But yeah, I spent my time kind of in isolation almost as a child.
Are they famous for anything other than
In
producing
Rathcoole?
you at this point?
Michelle Smith, we had an Olympic swimmer. Yeah. She was like our claim to fame for a long time.
Do you know her?
Sorry?
Do you know her?
No, not personally.
And when we last left off at South by Southwest, had you met Bono, or Bono was still the one you wanted to meet?
Oh no, had met him
You
briefly.
have met him?
Yeah, we
Okay.
were playing in the street on Christmas Eve one time.
At the Glenn Hansard thing.
Glenn Hansard was doing it, yeah, and I kind of rocked up and I just kind of bullied my way in with a guitar. And then Bono was there for like a few songs and then took off, yeah. Crazy though, amazing, because I mean, Bono can be anywhere on Christmas Eve, but he was busking on Grafton Street for charity, so yeah.
There's something to be learned there.
For sure, yeah. But I mean, Glenn Hansard was there for about 7 hours too, so.